Hey everyone, welcome to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel where we talk about some of the hottest topics in music, entertainment, and reality TV. It's Monday, so you know it's that time again. We have to do a quick recap on 90 Day Fiancé. Let's do a little countdown while everyone comes into the room, and I'll be right back.
You're mad. I'm back.
And I'm back. I had to go live. I mean, I originally was set this a little bit earlier, but it's been a busy day, but I wanted to talk about 90 Day Fiancé. I literally watched the episode a second time before this live. I didn't watch every single one. I posted a quick video on my TikTok talking about the only couple worth really talking about, but for the live sake, I'll go through the couples and do a quick recap on 90 Day Fiancé. But before we do that, let's give some people some time to get into the chat room. Again, if you haven't liked the video, like the video. And if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload. Let me just get some of my notes open here. Let me pull this a little bit closer. I also dropped by Up and Adam this morning to chat with him about 90 Day Fiancé. But I always have different thoughts later on in the day, especially if I've watched the episode again. Oh my goodness. And I'm not going to talk about Mike Natalie off the top because I feel like I have so much to say. Sometimes watching these reality shows, it's sort of like, is this real? Is this real? Like, is this real? Like, I get there's a lot of production involved and it's necessary, even more so when there's a pandemic. However, I'm just looking at everyone with the side eye like, is this real? Like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing? But anyways, so in this episode felt like a filler. And I need 90 Day Fiancé. The season hasn't been the greatest, but it hasn't been bad. I know a lot of people have been saying this season of 90 Day Fiancé has been bad. I don't think it has been terrible. Shout out to my TikTok fam. Head on over to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel so I can see your comments and you can possibly call in or share your comments and I can talk to you there. So head on over to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. First of all, I am seeing our community grow and I appreciate you guys so much. I'm also going to put up our texting community. So if you want exclusive information on news as I hear it before I even make a video for it, I actually sent a text to my group earlier today with some Sharon Osbourne information. So if you're not a part of the community, you're missing out. So join the community by texting me 347-647-2372. And if you're on my YouTube or my Facebook page or my Twitch, you can see the number scrolling across your screen. I'm going to be also doing giveaways, exclusive information. So as I said before, you want to join us there. TikTok fam, head on over to my YouTube, KEMPIRE Daily, so I can see your comments and join the conversation. Hey, Anna from Puerto Rico. Shantae, Shantae says, I'm glad Mike and Natalie broke up. She is absolutely a handful, but she could have and should have chosen better than him. Well, we'll get into Mike and Natalie in just a bit. Let's talk about the really boring couples. And I'm actually shocked that I find Brandon and Julia boring because it started off very interesting for this couple. Matter of fact, let me just have the pictures up because I know some of you probably don't remember who some of these folks are, but let me at least have a photo up so you guys can have a visual reference. Meet Brandon and Julia. All right, so in this episode, they finally get married. But before they even get married, Julia is very upset with Brandon not being involved. Julia is a handful. I really didn't expect Brandon. She wants Brandon to be excited. She wants Brandon to help with every single detail, down to her cutting up the flowers. But they quickly, in 90 Day fashion, because we've seen the same thing happen with Rebecca and ZIED, we'll get to them. he says, I will make sure after we're married, you'll never be sad again. She falls. She's like, it's so cute, 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 cute. Wow, I'm actually surprised that I did that so well. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, young love, to be that young and stupid. Well, we do see them get married. She wasn't able to get the wedding dress that she originally wanted, but she ended up with this wedding dress that was sort of like a skirt. And I didn't even realize it until she was walking down the aisle. I was like, oh my God. It was actually really, really not cute. But, as long as she was happy, they still were able to get married in a church. I thought it was cute that Brandon recited his vows in Russian to her. And his Russian is not too bad. Not too bad at all. Shout out to my moon water drinkers. Just an FYI. I know yesterday was a full moon, but the moon will still be big and beautiful tonight. So put your water and your crystals by a windowsill or outside where if you have access, get some of that moon rays on it. Oh, and had the jean jacket on. I mean, to each their own, because I'm going to get to Rebecca and ZIED's wedding and the fashion statements that were made there. Whew. But what else did I want to say about Brandon? First of all, Julia is a bridezilla, and I get it. It's her wedding. She wants it to be special. It's a pandemic, so it's not going to be as special as she wants it. It's not going to be exactly as she wants it. But at the same time, she really was a bridezilla. She really was just like, I wanted it. And she was losing her mind in every single instance. And I'm just sort of like, okay. And then she shifts real quick. And he's like, oh, you're so cute, 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 cute. Sorry. I just thought it was so... How many times did she say cute in that particular scene? I can't. But she did have a really funny moment when he was saying... Well, she's like, he can never say I love you enough. And then he was like, I love you. She was like, oh, it's too much. I thought that was cute. Let me see. What else? Brandon's parents aren't as annoying. And maybe that's why it's gotten boring, because there really isn't any conflict going on between Brandon, Julia, and the parents. And the only conflict that we had was really Brandon and Julia and him not being excited about the wedding. But I understood that. I just didn't see what the problem was. But she sounds like someone that needs a lot of reassurance all the time. She even says it in her confessional. She's like, if he doesn't say it, I'm going to think something's wrong. That's never a good sign. You don't want to be with someone that needs constant reassurance, because you're going to get annoyed. And Brandon is very passive aggressive. He's very passive aggressive and in a very annoying way. So I can see this couple having trouble down the line. I'm not wishing that for them. However, I do see trouble happening down the line. Hold on, y'all. I just want to make sure. There we go. All I see is Brandon's mom when I look at Brandon. Poor kid. Shout out to my TikTok fan. TikTok, head on over to KEMPIRE Daily so I don't miss your conversations. I do want to talk about anything else about the wedding. Nothing else. Brandon, I feel like this episode was such a filler episode, y'all. I don't feel like it was really great at all. We can talk about Tarek. Let's talk about Tarek and Hazel and their wedding. Oh my gosh. I was interested about Tarek and Hazel the last couple of episodes, but now I'm just like, I don't feel like a lot is happening there. And where's my Tarek picture? I can't even find it. Ugh, I'm so disgusted right now. I can't even find it. It's not even worth. Oh, here it is. Here it is. They're very lucky that I found it. They're very lucky that I found it. Tarek and Hazel. She's bisexual. He wants a throuple. We've already decided that the throuple idea really was his idea and not anyone else's idea. He's still talking to Minty, according to 90 Day Bears All, Minty's interview. He's still talking to Minty behind her back. I'm pretty sure Tarek and Hazel will be back on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After. I don't know if they'll be back for this new up-and-coming season, but Tarek loves the limelight. That's part of the reason why him and his brother Dean have fallen apart and why he's not talking to his brother Dean still. I still have no idea why. I think it's just both of them were trying to be famous and one was outshining the other. Get over it. So they have a wedding. One of his very good friends is actually the officiant of the wedding, and I really love his friends. I love his friends more than I like him. Hazel still, she's one mood. Hazel is one mood. I actually was surprised when I saw her crying on 90 Day Bears All after finding out that Minty was still talking to Tarek behind her back. That was the one time I actually really saw true emotion from her. But the thing is, I don't need to see crying from her, but I'd like to see something other than this. I love Tarek. Tarek is the love of my life. Girl. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I didn't look when I did my little second watch of this episode. I fast forward past their wedding. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. I didn't like. I mean, Tarek did a very good job. He even got wedding seats. Like he went all out for this wedding. But I had no concern that they were not going to get married. She was going to get married, even if she had to drag him down that aisle. I don't know what the future of the relationship will be like because one wants to be in a relationship and one wants to be in a throuple. I'm not sure if that's exactly what Hazel really wants. But look, if it works for her, it works for me. Look, I guess. Some of our favorite couples did not make it into this episode, but we will see them next week, including Stephanie and Harris. We see in the preview that she's burning up, I guess, the K1 visa application for Ryan, because now she's going to start filling one out for Harris. We do know that if it's your first time watching 90 Day Fiancé and you're not familiar with Stephanie's situation, she's allegedly suing the 90 Day Fiancé producers for a multitude of allegations. And she does not make it to the tell-all. She did not participate in the tell-all. Not sure if Ryan or Harris participated in the tell-all. But if she's still in a relationship with Harris, he probably did not partake. But I don't think that they're still together. But next week we get to see her talk with his baby mama, Emma. That's going to be interesting. I'm actually looking forward to next week's episode just to meet the other couples, including Amira and Andrew, and that dark situation. Andrew's mother is sort of like, how do we know she had a panic attack? She was there by herself. Oh my God, lady, calm down. There's one thing to defend your son, but there's one thing to be just look stupid on camera. Anyways, Colleen says, oh my God, Stephanie looks so messed up in every episode. She can't even get their name straight. Look, I could barely get their name straight as well. TikTok, head on over to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel. We're also live on the KEMPIRE on Facebook and live on Twitch. That way I can see everyone's comments and I don't miss them. Someone also says, she's a hot mess. Look, Stephanie is Stephanie, and we love her for the show, but it doesn't look like Stephanie will be coming back. I'm hearing rumors that baby girl Lisa might be coming back to 90 Day Fiancé. You may recall she was let go out of her contract. I'm not going to say fired. She was let go out of her contract for things that she was saying online that were problematic. We'll just say that. But then she posted something recently where we're thinking maybe she might be coming back. Usman, aka Soulja Boy, has been on 90 Day Bears All. He performed on 90 Day Bears All. So he's still a part of the 90 Day family. So maybe we will see them together again. No idea. But back to the couples. Let me call up the next couple. And I'm just going to put up this picture because this is my favorite picture of my girl. Look, my girl. Oh, Rebecca. Rebecca and ZIED finally get married. There's a beautiful horse and carriage ride. She apparently gets over all of her concerns about him wanting to get married before Ramadan. Okay. She gets over it so we can have this whole marriage scene for this episode. So let's just backtrack to Rebecca putting on her dress. And I understand it was a pandemic. The dress that she ordered could not fit. So she decides a corset over the wedding dress that doesn't fit would be a better idea. I beg to differ. That did not look... I mean, Rebecca's a beautiful woman. She's 49 years old. She looks definitely younger. She's a beautiful woman. She has a very like a cherub face, beautiful hair. Her makeup and everything looked great. That corset top situation, oh, I did not enjoy it. I think she would have looked better if maybe she wore like a white blouse over the dress or something like that. I know she likes to show off her tattoos. She still could have showed off her tattoos a little bit. Maybe there would have been slits in the blouse. That corset situation, she looked like she was uncomfortable. I was just like, this was, you could tell when somebody doesn't have a gay friend. Okay, I said it. I said it. Shantae says 90 Day Singles show is good. Yes. Again, you guys let me know if you want me to do recaps on 90 Day Bears All and 90 Day Single Life. I enjoy 90 Day Single Life because we get to see Big Ed. We get to see Brittany from 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way. Who else is a part of it? Fernanda, if you remember her, she's only 21 years old. I was like, what? She was 19 when she got married to that guy. It's an interesting show. It's interesting. Is it great? I wouldn't say it's great, but it's good. It's good. It's good enough. TSE says, totally agree on the corset. It was bad. It wasn't a good look, Rebecca, but they do finally get married. And surprisingly, ZIED's outfit wasn't as bad as I was picturing it. Because based on the color marcation that he was talking about, I was like, that's going to look crazy. But he didn't look as crazy as I thought he was going to look. He did spend 30 minutes on doing his hair, but ZIED's a character. He's a character. And, you know, I mean, it is what it is. They finally get married. There's a horse and carriage ride. She's escorted down by this horse and carriage ride. Her daughters, I guess her soon-to-be son-in-law, and someone else, walk her down the aisle. Mind you, none of these people came for a wedding because what they had on, it seemed like they were there for a barbecue. Not even a barbecue. It's like they just rolled out of bed and just say, "Oh, we're gonna go to your wedding." Really? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? Sorry. So they exchanged their vows, and that's it for Rebecca and ZIED. I hope that's it for Rebecca and ZIED. What else can they tell us at this point? We'll get to the tell-all. I hope Sean is ready to ask the questions I need her to ask, because these folks, whew. Let's move on. Okay, let me talk about Yara and Jovi. Yara and Jovi, they're still in Vegas. They have not gotten married just yet. Next week, they will get married. But in this episode, she also magically gets over all of the terrible things Jovi has done in the last couple of days, including coming home late from his bachelor party, not really showing her attention. Apparently, he did start showing her attention. I don't understand how these people allow one good moment outweigh every single bad thing that this person has done. I'm not one to look at the negative all the time, but if the negative keeps coming up, that's who they are. Jovi is I can't stand looking at his mouth. And I'm so mad that he's allegedly coming back for 90 Day Fiancé, happily ever after. They're not that interesting. This couple is not that interesting. Yes, the little fights that they have between them. Okay. No, that's not going to make a show. Maybe because now they have a baby. He does not like Yara. I think he's attracted to Yara. I think there's a physical attraction. He does not like her. And I can get why. She's always harping on him about his drinking. Look, I get it. But at the same time, he's so immature. And I don't think even having a child is going to help Jovi grow up. Speaking of Jovi and speaking of 90 Day Bears All, Discovery Plus is not sponsoring this video, although they should. He was on 90 Day Bears All, and he took a lie detector test. I did a whole video talking about what the results of the lie detector test was. Be sure to check it out. I'll post a link in the description of this video so you guys can watch that video. They didn't ask the question, though. I'll tell you this. They didn't ask the question that they needed to ask. Did you have any sexual contact with the stripper when you went upstairs? We shall see. We shall see if they even talk about it in the tell-all. The tell-all should be happening very soon. I think next week is the season finale. Shantae says, not at all. Jovi on the wrong show anyway. What show should he be on, Shantae? Let me if you guys want to call in and share your thoughts, I'm going to post the link so you guys can call in and share your thoughts. TikTok, head on over to the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channel if you want me to make sure I see your comments. Alcohol is the only love in his life. I feel bad for her and the baby. Honestly, I don't want to say that Jovi is an alcoholic because I don't necessarily believe he's an alcoholic. I think he does just like to drink. But I also think that Jovi is immature. I think Jovi is a man boy. I think Jovi does not love. Okay, let me not say he does not love. I don't think he likes Yara. I think he tolerates her. I think he's annoyed very much by her. You saw the ring scene where he's like, I didn't come here to spend a lot of money on this wedding band. $1,000 is a lot of. Look, I understand everyone's at different brackets, but normally what people pay for wedding bands and engagement rings are a lot more than $1,000 or $1,200. I'm just saying. I honestly thought that was pretty affordable, and they were pretty rings. He just seems so annoyed with her in so many different instances in the confessionals, during the scenes. I'm like, do you like her? I thought this was supposed to be for love. I thought this was supposed to be for love. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm delusional. Okay, let's move on because there's nothing more. They will get married. Yara and Jovi will get married next episode, next week. So let's talk about the couple that you guys really want to talk about. And that's Mike and Natalie. Oh. I literally just watched this again because I just had to really try and understand where any of these people were coming from. I know a lot of people feel bad for, I was about to call her Natasha, which would be right because that's what her mother calls her, for Natalie. I was feeling bad for Natalie in the beginning. In this particular episode, they go to the hotel. The hotel lady tells you, even though it's paid for, this room is paid for, you can't check in with someone else's credit card that's not here with their ID. Okay. Understandable. So they have to drive back. I feel bad for Tamara. Tamara, the neighbor, I feel so bad for her because she's, first of all, dealing with this woman that's distraught and rude. She's been very rude to Tamara a couple of times. And I have to drive. I drove 3 hours to this hotel. Now I got to drive 3 hours back. Natalie's like, oh, it's been such a long, stressful day. You're not the one driving. I don't get it. But there's something that does not make sense. And my reaction to this last episode with Mike and Natalie is that, first of all, they're still not married. However, I'm over them dragging out this storyline between Mike and Natalie. They're not that interesting. And Mike hemming and hawing this entire season about marrying her was so infuriating. So 90 Day Producers, I know you have your feelers out of people recapping and talking about your show. I hope you see this one. Don't you ever do this to us again because they're not interesting. Having us wait until the end of the season to understand why this woman was so distraught. Oh my God, he canceled the wedding. Was not interesting. It was annoying to the point where I'm like, I'm not interested in seeing them next week and how they come back together in order to get married. We've heard reports. First of all, we saw leaks before the season that they ended up getting married. But then we're hearing new reports that they got married, but now they're separated. And she has a cooking channel, which I've watched. I think I spoke about it last week here. And the cooking channel is very soft porn, kind of something going on. Not sure. Her voice sounds a little different too. She's winking at the camera. She's, wearing sexy outfits. It's very awkward, but she has like over 10,000 subscribers. Good for her. That's my goal for the next month. I'm going to get to 10,000. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to like this video and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Anyways, back to this couple. So they drive all the way back, poor Tamara, all the way back with this woman beside her. They drive all the way back. She stays with Mike. They apparently sleep in separate rooms. I mean, obviously. She says Tamara doesn't have room. She says her house is full. Girl, I would sleep on the floor. I am pissed at this man. This is why I kind of feel like this is production trying to create drama. I was like, Tamara, I know your house is full and I don't want to be a pain to you, but there's no way I can sleep in this man's house. I will sleep on the floor, Tamara, and then we can leave tomorrow. Anyways, that's not what happens. What happens is she stays with Mike. They stay in separate rooms. They have a conversation. In this conversation, like, maybe we can talk to a lawyer, because he's like, I don't want you to go. I want you to stay, even if your visa expires. It doesn't work that way, Mike. And the fact that Mike even is thinking about having Natalie stay here illegally is problematic, because it's not you that will go to jail. It will be her. So anyways, they talk with a lawyer, and he's trying to ask the lawyer, will they, they're not going to come and grab her out the house if she stays. The lawyer's not, first of all, not on camera, or even say to you off camera, you're not, you can't do that. She's going to tell you, no, that is not going to happen. That's against the law. There was no guidance. Remember, this is in April of 2020. That's only a month later after the lockdown. So there's a lot of information that people didn't know about the virus. There's a lot of information that we didn't know in regards to the government and visas and everything like that. So they only have 2 days to get married, and the next day is her last day. So they have to get married. And she's saying to the lawyer and to Mike in the conversation, and this is why I'm sort of a little suspect about why they ended up getting married. And I think the reason, I'll get to that. So in the conversation they're having with the lawyer, she's like, can I still fly and not have a problem? And she's like, no, you can't do that, because there's immigration in every airport. And she's like, looking at Mike, at least marry me so I'm able to fly to my mom in case of an emergency or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, so you want to get married just so that you're not illegal? That's not a reason to get married. So that's why I'm thinking why these two ended up getting married. I'm thinking at the tell-all is where we'll find out, yes, we ended up getting married. However, we're now separated because things just weren't working out. And I go back to my original stance on this whole Mike and Natalie situation. Mike, you were already hemming and hawing before she even came. You were already on the fence. You were already hurt by what she did in Ukraine. Why in the hell did you have this woman come thousands of miles across the country to spend 90 days with your big ass in this middle of nowhere? Oh, maybe because you were lonely and you're not going to sit here and tell me that these two weren't sleeping together. These two were sleeping together. So he's getting paid for the show. I hear maybe $25,000 allegedly to do a season of the show, which is no money to scoff at, especially depending on your life. Because some of y'all acting all kinds of crazy out here for the $1,400 stimmy. Y'all look all kinds of memes and people. I'm seeing a lot of people with new hair and all kinds of stuff with $1,400. So I can only imagine what people would do with $25,000 for a season. Oh, we want me to be on the show. And we remember this one had some debt that he needs to pay off. So this is another season that he's on. So that's maybe $50,000 that he's made from this show. And then some of these 90 Day Fiancé people ask interviewers like myself, oh, I'll do an interview with you if you pay me $1,000. Don't none of y'all come in my DMs with that crap. Because, and this is not a brag, but it's a brag, I interviewed Oprah for free. I'll be damned if I'm going to pay for a 90 Day Fiancé person. It's not happening. I'm a little testy today, ain't I? Maybe because of the time. Maybe it's just been a day. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm sorry, Shantae. Shantae.
Hey.
I'm going off today.
Look, this show will make you go off.
But I wasn't like this last week. I don't know. Is it my frustration? What are you feeling? Let's just go down the couples again, just because I want to hear all your thoughts on all the couples before we get back to Mike and Natalie. I'll start with the least interesting couple, Brandon and Julia. What were your initial reactions to this last episode and them, or anything that you thought? It doesn't even have to be this last episode.
Brandon is just, Brandon, I said it about Jovi, but Brandon too, he's on the wrong show. He needs to be on Mama's Boys.
Oh, Oh, I
He
love
really
that show
does.
too. When that comes back, y'all know what I'll be talking about. Oh my gosh. Did you like their wedding though? It was
It was
beautiful.
nice. It was nice for a 90-day wedding. It was pretty nice.
And in the middle
But
of a pandemic, in a
that too.
panorama.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, Brandon is just so frustrating. Like he in between giving me a headache and making my ass itch. I'm like, come on.
Oh my gosh, Shante.
I'm serious because this is the funny thing about the guys on these shows that get these women. They know they couldn't get the top of the line women here, so they got to buy somebody. And
You
then
heard
what's
what
so funny?
you heard what his grandfather said. He said he's glad he found someone because he was about to get someone for him.
I think they had before.
Oh damn.
I really do.
Because you know what it is to be on this show, you got to have a little tick that
You
it's just
do.
not right.
And
It's
it's
just not
funny
right.
because this show will make you have all kinds of theories about certain people on the show. And you'd be like, yeah, okay.
And we've heard
You
things.
on the
Look, we've
wrong
heard
show.
things about Brandon, and we've heard things about Brandon's parents allegedly. I'm not going to even get into it. I
Right.
mentioned it in other videos, but yeah,
Right.
we've heard
Yeah.
things. But let's talk about Jovi and Yara. What did you think? What do you think of them in general?
Jovi is just as frustrating. I want to push him off a cliff.
Oh my god, you seen that mouth? Oh, that mouth. Every time I see it. And the thing is, I looked at his parents and both of them don't have lips. And I'm like, whose child is this?
Maybe he's adopted.
And then the teeth, like the teeth. Like I hate to talk about people's appearance, but can we talk? Every time I see his mouth. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
But
it is.
he's just very immature. He needs to grow up. I don't think he'll like what you saying, you don't think he likes her. I'm like, that's how I kind of feel about a lot of these men on the show. I don't think they necessarily like the women. They have this tick in them that I think they have a resentment towards attractive women. And they never let that resentment go. They never got over it. So they're treating these attractive women and they got like some shit.
I agree.
That's how I feel about Mike. I really think he is just like they got some revenge fantasy in their head, and it's like now that they finally got the woman that they wanted, they can't just be happy and treat her right. They got to get that resentment out, like it just never left them.
I think it's a little bit of that, and I also, like I said, based on the money situation, and he doesn't have a lot of money. It wouldn't shock me that was part of his motivation. But you know, before we get to Mike and Natalie, because that's a long conversation.
It really is. It's a lot.
Rebecca and ZIED and their beautiful hoedown wedding.
Oh, okay. And you know, if you like it, I love it. She's another frustrating one. When she had those space buns in her hair, something about pigtails and space buns on grown women, it makes them look like they're annoying. It's just something so
You
annoying
saw in
about
that same episode, our girl Stephanie also had that too.
Yeah, I'm like, what is it with grown women wanting to wear? This is gross.
I just had to put the picture up just to remind you. I captured this moment because she looked right at the camera and I was like, seems about right. Seems about right. Pigtails.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that was her frustration of the day. That was her frustration. But you know, I have to say she didn't annoy me as much in this particular episode. However, the fashion from the guests, the corset, Shante. What was she thought that was the better solution with the dress that didn't fit? Did I lose you, Shante? I lost Shante. Because I can't hear you, Shante. Can't hear you, Shante.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I wasn't even on mute. I had to mute it and then unmute it. But yeah,
so
of course, I when you said she didn't have a gay man in her life, I died because that is the exact same thing I said. I said she needs some gay friends. She needs some serious fashion advice. But I try not to judge people in their weddings because the wedding day is a reflection of the people and what they want to have.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
I never did, and I never like to hear people judge people like how much or how little they spent on their wedding.
But you know what I thought?
Another couple from another season.
I was excited for her wedding because, she originally had an episode where they went there and she's like, this would be a nice place to have the wedding. So I was like, oh, that would be a nice idea with the horse and
Right.
carriage. I didn't expect her guests were all dressed like they just rolled out of bed. Okay, we're going to a wedding. Like, it doesn't take a lot to look at least decent.
Right. But I mean, like I said, that's their personality. That's what they wanted. So, it's like, okay, you like it, I love it.
J Fred on TikTok says, I spent $3,000 on my wedding. There's no shame in having a small wedding. And that's my thing. Like, I have no problem with a small wedding, but if I'm going to have a small wedding, and I will have a small wedding, I'm still going to look great.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's my day. I'm going to be the star of the show.
But speaking of the star of the show, the star of this episode has to be Mike and Natalie. Let's just deep dive again back into Mike and Natalie. What are your thoughts on this most frustrating couple? I was just literally frustrated with 90 Day. I'm like, really? You're going to drag this out to next week? Did I lose you, Shantae? Shantae. Can't hear you, Shantae.
Okay, my bad.
I don't know. It's probably something with StreamYard. Who knows what it is? Everybody's going live tonight.
But yet, once again, because I remember the first season when Mike said, I have this debt and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is it with these clowns who scrape their little bit of money together to buy these women? That's essentially what they're doing. And then you're like, well, I got this going. And then of course they don't ever give them the whole story until they get here. And they expect them to live in dust. I'm like, why are you bringing her here to live the dusty life? You've heard about how Russian women. No, like how you've heard about Russian or Ukrainian women, they're very high maintenance. They have
You've seen it with Yara.
Right. They have high standards, and then you expect them, you get mad and you get frustrated when they have these things that they want. They're not going to change overnight.
No, not at all. But I just feel like even with all that being said, I feel like Natalie did adjust. She did adjust to the new life.
She definitely did try. Absolutely. But I thought she was like, no, you trying for the wrong one, boo. She definitely could. Because these women could have their pick of a lot of different men over here in the U.S.
Yeah.
That aren't.
She's a beautiful woman. And I don't know where she's doing this cooking show with the beautiful kitchen, but it looks like she might have a new boo. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know if that for sure, but
I'm like, girl, you should have chosen better.
Honestly, seeing Mike, when right before she comes back, seeing him sort of like walk around his apartment, I'm like, that's what she wanted. And she said the closet smelled and all these other things. Like, she wasn't happy with him. So I was just like, but I honestly, watching this episode and seeing them have the conversation after she's back there, I think part of her thought, oh, now he wants to marry me. Now he's changed his mind. But then at the same time, it seemed like it was going to be sort of like this business transaction because, oh, I don't want to be illegal, so marry me. And I think that's what happens. I think he marries her and it's really just about her not being illegal in the country because he's fine with her being illegal. He's like, I want you to stay. Why do you want her to stay, Mike?
Because he wants to hang it over her head about if you don't like it, you can leave.
He also wants that wedding ring back.
Yeah, and they love dangling the whole deportation thing over their heads. They're just sick.
That's really toxic.
Very. A lot of these men and women on this show that buy these people from these other countries are toxic. They don't have their shit together. That's what they're doing.
And also, we have to keep in mind, for those that aren't aware, the K1 visa process is not cheap.
Nope.
It's in the thousands and it's like almost $10,000, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, because, like I said before, what we've heard, allegedly, these couples are paid $20,000 to $25,000 to be on a season. And I'm thinking, do they help them pay this K1 visa process? Because I'm trying to understand where some of these people are getting the money.
Yeah, and another thing I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that they're really only paying that to the American part of the couple.
Yeah, because I guess legally.
Right, because they can't get wages from here. So I'm wondering, do they split the money with them rightfully? Do they put it in something for the both of them together?
I mean, that's why we probably should get someone that's no longer under an NDA. Let's talk about the contracts. Let's talk about like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's how we kind of know how much these people are making. But I don't know, like this whole Mike and Natalie situation is just so frustrating to me. And I'm like over them.
Me too. But I would like to see Natalie with a better man. I really do. I always root for the one that's getting treated badly, and it's usually the woman having to come over here and adjust
In
instead
all
of
fairness,
really
like
get
Natalie
treated.
wasn't perfect in the beginning. Natalie was not perfect.
Yeah, and I've always said that she is a handful.
And she has a very like harsh way of speaking, but I also think that's cultural too.
It
And
is.
I
It
just
is. And like
feel,
I said, a lot of these men know that because that's the thing. They say, oh, I like that fiery attitude, or I like this and I like that. Then they get it and they can't handle it.
and I know I labeled the thumbnail for this episode recap as second chance as well. 90 Day Fiance, I don't think you're going to get a second chance for me. I will be back next week to talk about 90 Day Fiance in their season finale, but I'm not going to be excited about it. I'm just going to say that. Any
Well,
last?
I didn't watch the last two tell-alls.
Really? Why
I
not?
didn't. I was barely really into the last couple of seasons. Like when they brought Hazel and Tariq back, I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then again, Hazel puts me to sleep.
Literally, she is
Yes,
one mood. She has
yes,
one
and
mood.
right, and it's like there's just so many things on these shows you can tell when somebody's not into the other person. Hazel was not into Tariq at all.
And that's part of the reason why I didn't feel like Hazel was bisexual, but I'm not going to tell her
I didn't either.
sexuality, but I feel like she's more, you know. Just saying. Just saying.
Right.
Are you excited for next week? And will you be watching the tell-all for this particular season?
I'll try, but like I said, the last two, I just was so checked out because it's just like, okay, fast forward. I can't remember the last time I fast forwarded through a show so much.
That's not good, 90 Day Fiance producers.
I know.
I'll be there. I'll be watching, and I'll be watching the tell-all because the tell-all usually is better than the rest of the season anyway.
Yeah, but the single life is pretty good. I really do like that one. They should put that on just regular TLC.
What are your thoughts on single life? Just for those that aren't familiar, like who's your favorite? What's the biggest thing that stood out to you for 90? And for those that are listening, 90 Day, the single life is some of your past favorite 90 Day people. They're now single, and now we're watching them date, and it's available only and exclusively on Discovery Plus.
Yeah. So Fernanda, because she definitely has a type.
Right? Literally,
She
older.
definitely has a type. Yes, older. And I was like, okay, Fernanda. And I did think, because if you remember, she just gave Jonathan the business. You can pick up, you can move to Chicago. And it's like she's being childish. But here again,
She was 19 though.
Exactly. And it was just so fucked up, pardon my French, how Jonathan kind of pulled the okey doke and did the very thing she wanted him to do after the fact that now he didn't get engaged.
He moved to Chicago. She wanted him to move to Chicago, and she ends up moving. She's a beautiful girl, but she's 21, and now she's getting involved again with an older man.
Yeah, well, 22 now, I guess. Yeah.
I'm like, girl,
But
you need to slow your roll.
The type.
She definitely has a type. They both are like spitting image. I can't complain. She's a beautiful girl, and her type is both good looking men, and they seem to be successful.
Yeah, I didn't think she'd stay single for long. And what's his name? Colt. Oh God, Colt.
I forgot Colt was on this.
Yes. Did you see the last one when they him and his new girlfriend sat down with Jess and her husband?
Yes. Obviously, they're trying to produce content, so that's the only reason why they even did this. To me, this was so unnecessary. I don't understand what this other woman sees in him. It's like, girl, why do you want to be with Colty? But Colty is like, I want to be, I want to make you my girlfriend. Okay. And then every time I see Colty, I'm like, ugh. And the thing is, when we were first introduced to Colty, I didn't think he was that gross. But he's just steadily gotten grosser.
He's kind of socially awkward.
Oh, without a doubt. Everyone on these damn shows are socially awkward. You think they are normal folks that can meet normal people in the normal world?
No.
I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true. I mean, Colty's on this. What about Big Ed? You saw that last particular episode with Big Ed. going
Head
in for
and
the kiss.
Shoulders. That's what I call them.
What?
Yeah.
Head and Shoulders?
Head and Shoulders.
Head and Shoulders. I can't.
Ed, ED, Ed and
Oh,
Shoulders.
head.
But because somebody said Ed is on a bunch of different dating apps. I'm like, he's another one that needs to give it a rest.
He's
Because the
also
way he treated
some
Rose
credit.
was just so messed up.
He
But
also has a.
Rose, I was
Go ahead.
saying earlier in the chat, Natalie needs to find out whoever hooked up Rose's YouTube channel. Because Rose, I don't know if you subscribe to her YouTube channel. She just got her YouTube play button like a couple of weeks ago. She is on a roll. She is making bank. I was like, you go, girl.
Rose?
Yes. She done got like.
What is she doing on her YouTube channel?
Huh?
What is she doing on her YouTube channel?
She did like a house tour. She's doing all kinds of stuff. She did, like the usual stuff. Like we try American snacks. She was sitting down with Prince and her nephew. It was cute. I was like, I like her channel. I really liked Rose. I really did. And when Ed got there, yes. And when Ed got there, remember when he wanted her to take an STD test, but didn't want to take one for her. He was kind of being a little hesitant. And it was just like, okay, now she's peeping his game, and it's like, okay, he really had a lot of nerve.
I'm just shocked that Rose is doing so well on YouTube. Well, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube so I can do as well as Rose, who I think I got a bigger personality than she does. She's another one with one move.
Rose is on it. I was like, all right, that's what I like to see.
Well, Big Ed is a predator, allegedly, because his behavior on 90 Day, The Single Life, I'm just cringing every time I watch him, especially when he tried to kiss that other young lady, and he literally kissed her nose. Definitely. And ended up crying at his table. I can't. Brittany from 90 Day Fiancé the other way, she got into a really bad accident after going on her first date with this guy. And she's like, I want to see your masculine side and blah, 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 blah. And I knew it. These fools ride without helmets or any sort of protective gear on these, I forgot what you call them. And she goes over a tree stump and hurts her shoulder.
But Brittany is all kinds of dingy, so I wouldn't expect anything less from her.
You're right. She is such a mess. What is wrong with Brittany?
She's a dingbat, period.
And has no problem sleeping with people on the first date, even though she denies it.
She's a sugar baby. Or what?
But the thing is, the people she's dating, they don't have money.
Because I remember when she mentioned that she dated a guy who was like 80 something. I'm like,
yes.
Oh, okay.
So maybe she's still dating them, but dating these younger guys for the show.
Possibly. That makes a lot of sense. Because who heard her rap music? Who's buying her stuff? I'm not.
We don't even hear a mention of her rap music on 90 Day Single Life, thankfully.
No.
Maybe she'll come on 90 Day Bears All and perform.
Possibly.
I hope not. Please, we don't want that. 90 Day Bears All producers, we don't want that. I barely want the people you've been bringing on.
I could probably tolerate her rapping over Tariq's. Tariq's is just that's whack.
Oh, I can't. I need Happily Ever After to be good, please. But you're right. Yeah. Everything that we're watching on the Discovery app is so good. 90 Day Bears All is interesting, but The Single Life is probably better. Do you think it's better than this current season of 90 Day Fiancé?
Yes, I do. Because those are the people that were on the more interesting seasons. Like I said, the last two seasons I'll still watch it, but they weren't as interesting as a couple of the previous seasons. Mm-hmm. So The Single Life I think is a little bit better than this whole season of 90 Day Fiancé.
Ivana in the TikTok chat says, I don't want Tarek rapping either. Nobody asked for that. The minute they said he was there to perform, I was like, I can't. And that's the thing. And I think that's part of the reason why he had the falling out with his brother, Dean, is that I think they were competing for fame. And I'm like, neither one of you are that interested. Mm-hmm. So get off my TV.
Yeah. Well, Dean put him on blast for being a hypocrite.
Yeah. And he really is. I think Tarek is not who we think he is.
He definitely seems like he's trying really hard.
Did you see when the family Chantel stopped by 90 Day Bears All?
I saw a quick clip. I love Chantel's parents. I do. They are so cute.
Miss Karen, because she said she's reached a certain age. She wants people to call her Miss Karen.
Mhm.
She said this interview, you need to watch it. The interview is so awkward because you're like, what are you saying? What I don't understand what you're trying to say here. It's so confusing. Sean Robinson, the host, is just like,
Miss
and it's
Karen,
just
look,
looking at the camera.
listen, Miss Karen be hitting that Alizé before she go on camera. You know she does.
Well, I'm ready for season 3 of The Family Chantel. You know we're going to get it. Shantae, first of all, thank you for chiming in. It makes it so much easier to talk about some of these boring couples. But next week we'll be back to talk about 90 Day Fiancé. I believe this is the season finale because there's nothing else they can give us for this damn season.
Yeah.
Shantae, where can people follow you and get more familiar with what you do?
On Instagram, Shantae Nicole, and on TikTok, Sold in the DMD.
Most definitely. Shantae, again, thank you so much for being here. I love talking about
Thank
90
you,
Day
darling.
Fiancé. And I'll see you. Look, there's more show. Jersey's happening this week. I will be back live and I have some breaking stories. There's some new stuff. Again, guys, let me just put my banner up so you guys can join the texting community. Join the KEMPIRE texting community so you get the exclusives before anyone else. I text my community today about some Sharon Osbourne information, so you might have missed out on it. The number again is 347-647-2372. Again, 347-647-2372. Text me today so you can get some exclusive giveaways and tea. Oh my goodness. Again, guys, next week we'll be live again to talk about the 90 Day Fiancé recap. I appreciate everyone for being here. If you have not liked the video, be sure to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when we go live or when we upload. I definitely have some videos I'll be posting very soon. What else? Oh yeah, one other thing, guys. If you're not subscribed to my podcast, it's KEMPIRE Radio. My boy Up and Adam here on YouTube was on it last week. So check out my interview. It was a 2-parter. We talked about the housewives. We talked about all the projects that he's working on. So be sure to subscribe there. And of course, every week I'm talking a variety of topics on the podcast. You get at least 2 episodes a week. Every Wednesday, it is all about wellness. And this week we have a psychic medium who's been on the show before, is back to tell us what we can expect for the rest of 2021. And of course, every Friday, I have my podcast episode where I talk about some of the hottest topics in music, entertainment, and I give you some reality TV recaps, uncensored, because look, between TikTok and Google's community guidelines, I can be a little bit freer on my podcast. So be sure to subscribe to KEMPIRE Radio. I appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to the chat room. I see all of you, Nisei, Robin, Shantae, Anna, everyone that stopped by, ER Roman. I see you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And shout out to my TikTok community as well. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you very soon.